back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, I'm Pauline. I'm a Filipino who lives in Austria, Graz, Austria, with my husband and my cat Mimi. And so it's the 36th day of the quarantine. It's getting quite boring, but I'm here recording another video for you guys, and let's do it. So I got questions from you guys on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram about the German proficiency level, and I wrote some of the most asked questions, and I'll be answering them here in this video to help you get more clarification when it comes to the German level. Okay, so let's get to the questions. I wrote down most of the questions you guys asked that's related to German level, German studies, and the visa things. And so let's get to the first one. Do I really need to study German to move to Austria or Germany? Yes. So if you want to move here, you really need to study German, and they're going to ask you for the lowest level. There are 6 levels. A1 is the lowest and C2 being the highest. And you have to give at least the lowest one, which is A1, if you want to move to Austria or Germany. So unlike other countries like Japan, I lived in Japan for 4 years, and they do not require Japanese proficiency for the foreigners that want to live there. It's not a requirement, they just have to have a company or someone to sponsor. But in Austria, they really require you to speak German. So for the first time you're going to apply for your residence card, you need to give the lowest level, which is A1. So it is a requirement if you want to move here. Number 2, can I study German in Austria? Of course, you can study German in Austria or Germany. If your purpose is really just to study the language, then you can get a student visa. You can study it for a year, or you can even just use your tourist visa, Schengen Visa C. That's good for the maximum of the Visa C is 90 days or 3 months. And if you want to maximize that, then you can of course study German. That's good for 1 level actually. If your purpose is to get a residence card, permanent residency, or to get married here, then I would suggest that you at least study A1 in your country, because let's say in my case, I got married here and I applied for the Visa D, which is my fiance visa. And so if you have 6 months and then you don't study the language and you want to study here, I got asked about that, if they can study here. I said that's just not enough time, like I said. So 6 months you have to get married and you have to apply for the residence card. If your residence card doesn't come out within the 6 months, you fly back home. So the process of residence card usually takes a month or 2, so that gives you 4 months. And the wedding preparations and getting married, let's say 1 to 2 months. You only have 2 months left to study, and that's like the minimum time for study without the preparation for the exam and taking the exam and waiting for the results of the exam. So if you're applying for a residency, then I suggest that you study German in your country and not in Austria, because you're gonna waste time. You're really wasting time, because 6 months, you need to save that 6 months so you get to have your residence card, or you go back home. Then once your residence card comes out, then you're gonna apply for, or you're gonna buy a new ticket, and that's just a waste of money and time. So yes, you can study here if you just want to study, but then for residency, then take the lowest level in your country. Then for A2 and for the higher levels, you can take it here once your residence card is up. Question number 3, until which level of German proficiency is required? So this is a good question. So a lot of people thought that once they take A1, that's all they need, because that's the only requirements written for the visa and residence card. But actually, if you dig deeper and ask question at the visa office or residence card office, A1 is the minimum requirement for your first application. So for example, in my case, I had to give my A1 when I applied for my residence card, and then they said that when I renew it, so it expires next year, when I renew it, I have to give A2. I'm not sure how long are they gonna give me if I renew it this year, if I get 2 years, 3 years, but when I renew it again, I have to give B1. So every time you renew your residence card, you have to give a higher level. So that's until B1. So you have to study at least until B1 for the residence card. If you live here for 8 to 10 years and you want to be naturalized, then they require you to have B2. But that's a whole different topic, right? I'm just saying, if you want to know up until which level, you can study until B1 for the residence card. And if you decide to stay here and want to be naturalized, and then B2. So basically you have to study until B2. So yeah, for the initial requirement, A1, every time you renew a higher level, and up until B1. So next is a German proficiency certificate a visa requirement? No. So as I said, if you're applying for a residence card, that's the time you give the certificate. They call it PRUFUM, which is the official test that you take after every course, and you have to pay extra for that. And for this one, there are a number of schools that offer courses but does not offer this official exam. So once you take this exam, it's like IELTS, and you get the results, you get this different type of certificate. So this proficiency certificate is different from a completion certificate for a course. So you need to pay extra for this exam. You need to do reading, listening, writing, and speaking. So there's 4 parts of this test, and you need to pass. So they have like a point system. Once you pass it, you wait for 1 to 2 weeks for the results. You get the certificate, and this is the one that you give for your residence card. So when you apply for a fiancé visa or a visa D, you don't need to give this certificate. It's not a visa requirement. It's a residence card requirement. So I hope that answers that. Do I need a certificate of completion? So the certificate of completion, so this is like the same as question number 4, but so when you take a course for 2 months and you finish it with flying colors, like you have a good grade, you didn't have so much absences, then they give you the certificate of completion. And this is different from the proficiency one. So for the completion, it's not official. It's just congratulations on taking and finishing the class. After that course, you need to apply separately for the official test, and you have to pay separately, of course. And then that's the one that's accepted by the offices, like the visa resident fee offices, resident permit offices. I'm getting confused and blabbering around. Anyways, to answer this question clearly, completion is different from the official proficiency exam. Some people, I have a friend that took the test, the A1 test, immediately without taking a course. You just self-studied. And you can do that if you're confident with your skills, of course. But you also have to be careful with the test. They only accept proficiency test from Goethe Institute. It's usually worldwide, so that's the best school that you can take the exam. If you want to live in Austria, you have to take the USD and the UIF. So I'm gonna put the picture here so you can see, because it has like the 2 dots on that O. But anyways, if you want to take this proficiency test, Goethe offers it from A1, of course, to B2. And I check online, of course, for Goethe Philippines, and A1 and A2 is 5,000 pesos, which is 90 euros for the test, and B1 is 8,300 pesos, which is 150 euro for B1. They didn't really put how much is B2. Okay. Anyways, question number 6. Where can I study German? Where can I study German? How much? How long can I study online? So, I would recommend you to study at the school and not online. So, it's just depending, of course, on the time you have. Of course, if you don't have so much time, then online is very convenient. But if you do have the time, then a school itself is better, so it pushes you and you get some practice with your classmates. You can study definitely in your country. Just check. I feel like you have Goethe Institute in your country, because in Philippines we do have Goethe and you can study there. The courses is usually for 2 months in Goethe Institute. From A1 to B1, it's all 2 months. And it's 20,000 pesos or 360 euro for 2 months. That's a good price actually for 2 months course, definitely. And if you want to take B2 in Goethe, that's good for 3 months, which is 30,000 pesos. So I didn't check the euro price, but that's 520 euros for 3 months. It might vary depending on your country, because I know Goethe is more expensive in Japan because probably they have to pay their teacher more and the cost of living is different. But you really have to check. I'll put the name of Goethe here. So that's like the ones I can recommend where you can study in your country, because that's the only school I know, Goethe. Now, if you finished A1 and you want to do A2, there are some schools in Graz, Austria, because that's where I live and that's where I can recommend stuff. Anyways, here are the schools that you can try in Graz, Austria. So right now I'm studying in Caritas Academy, and they offer intensive courses. Of course, they also have night courses. For me, I'm taking the intensive course. That's 2.5 months. And that is, they offer courses from A1 to C2. A1 to B1 courses are 350 euros. That is for 1/2 of the level. So they offer it A1.1, A1.2, A2.1. And her half level is 350. Once you reach B2, the tuition fee is free because there's less people. So B2 to C2, the tuition fee in Caritas Academy is free. So luckily I found this school for B2, so I didn't have to pay anything. Thank God. But before studying in Caritas, I took a different course at Deutsch in Trend, which is another school, and they also have intensive courses. But unlike Caritas, like the course in Caritas is A1.1 for 2.5 months, so a total of 5 months for one level. But in Deutsch im Trend, the other hand, it's just 1 month for this half, and then you take another one. So I studied the B1 here again because I studied it in Philippines, but I wanted to do it again here. But the problem was they have the B1.1, B1.2, but they didn't separate it. So it was confusing because we didn't really study by the book, like lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3. In Deutsch im Trend, we studied lesson 1, then lesson 7, then lesson 8, then lesson 5. And it wasn't so nice. I wasn't happy about it, and that's why I went to Caritas Academy, which is better. So I'm just saying, Deutsch im Trend can be the cheapest school, but it's not the nicest. I wouldn't really recommend it because it's not the most convenient when it comes to their teaching. As a teacher, I was not happy with it, and especially with how they handle B2 and C1. These are two very different levels, and in Deutsch im Trend, they put them in one class. There's 2 levels, so it's like you can't talk to the other people because your level is so far from each other. That's how they teach it. So I would recommend it. Another school is Deutsch in Graz. This is a very popular school. I would say this is the most popular school, but also the most expensive. So it's located at the main square in Graz, and it's in a really great location. And if you don't have so much problems with the money, then I would recommend this school. It's great. It's really great. It's just pricey. I'll try to put the prices here while I read it. So they do offer 4 weeks for 528 euro, 8 weeks for 1,000 euro. So you can see the difference, because 2 months in Caritas is 350 and 2 months in Deutsch in Graz is 1,000. That's a lot. 12 weeks is 1,500, 16 weeks is 2,000, and 20 weeks is 2,500. So they teach like Goethe Institute. They're very strict, very good. They have quizzes and exams. It's just pricey. So if money is not the problem, then Deutsch in Graz is also a good school. But so far, those were the questions that were asked to me, and I hope it clarified your questions about German study. And yeah, if you have any other questions, just comment down below. You can message me on my Instagram and Facebook here as always. And I really hope it was helpful, because I got lots of questions. I hope I said it clearly, but yes, always I'm happy to receive questions. And thank you very much. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!